All right, open your pattern design program if it's not already open. It's the one with the scissors on it. And then we're going to File, Open, and well, let's change that. We need to review how to fix this. I could just open, well, I will. I'll just open Louise and I'll open my bodice front because that's what I need, but it's not going to go where I want it to go. So when we save it, so I'm still working as though you are using the C drive to store things on. If you're storing things on your flash drive, then you'll set it to your flash drive. So we're going to go into Edit again and Customize under Workspace and Preferences and straight over to Paths, and it's set to C drive like it should be. If you have your flash drive in and it shows, choose your flash drive and then choose your name, whether it's on your flash drive or on the C drive. P notch still works, and then choose no grade that we added in on a previous video, and that's all you need to do, and say apply, save, and OK. Well, did you see that shift? It shifted to metric because I haven't changed that in there. So I'm going to go back up to that, Edit, Customize. No, wait, it was User Environment. Sorry about that. User Environment, and change that to Imperial in 3 places, and then save it. So it went back to Imperial, and I could probably go into Explorer again and double check, and I might have to pull in a file to make it Imperial, but I believe that solves the problem. Okay, so we've made sure that our paths are correct. You do that every time you come on. You make sure you're in Imperial, and you fix those things before you get started every time, even if I don't remind you. So File, Open your pieces. We'll only need our bodice front for this one. So this is the rest of it was you getting familiar, and there will be quizzes on that. But this is your first actual homework assignment. So we're going to do a number of things to this front bodice. We're going to rotate the darts around. So I clicked on it and brought it down, and it became full screen because of the way I had it set. If yours isn't full screen, you can just zoom into it and make it bigger. There's a few things that I'd like to point out about this piece. It has a dotted line right here. That means that the piece is on the fold, and when it gets put in a marker, it will be plotted as an open piece instead of on the fold. Most students like to keep their pieces just a straight line there because then they can put them on the fold when they're cutting them out to do their homework at home. This time we're not going to have sewing homework. You will have sewing homework in the future, but I wanted to get you started on your using the software and coming into the classroom. Okay, so dotted line, that's an internal line, but it means it's on the fold when it's right there. This line is our grain line. This is a drill mark that is our bust point. And as you go around the piece, this is a diamond shape. It's got, well, this is a triangle. You know what triangles are and you know what diamonds are. But that becomes important in this case, because everywhere there's a diamond, this is just a point. Everywhere there's a diamond, it's the end point of a line. And there will be a handout about that, and that will be on the quiz. A upward triangle is the end point of a line. Upward triangle. Okay, so here I have an upward triangle, which means this is a line, and this is a line. But this is a dart because it's a 3-point line. It has the end point, another point, and an end point. That will be on the test. A dart is a 3-point line, beginning, middle, and end. This is just a regular line, so it looks to a dart like a dart to us, but the computer doesn't recognize it as a dart because it has a triangle right here. And these diamonds I will have to fix, but we're going to fix this one right now so we can use it as a dart. So that means we're going to have to change, we'll have to make a point. So I'm editing points, and I chose point, and so over here it says select the points with your left button. So I'm going to touch that, and it highlighted. Well, you'll need to know that later, but actually you don't need to, that's not where we're going. We are going to modify line, combine. So even though it's a point, we want to combine these two lines into one. So we're in modify, then down into line actions and up to combine. And it says to select the two lines to merge. Everything I do to this piece I need to do in clockwise order because that's how the computer understands it. That will be on the quiz. Clockwise order. So when I'm choosing lines that need to be combined, I choose the first one and then the second one in clockwise order and say OK. So now the computer will recognize that as a dart. And we'll use the other version of points later, but you don't go into points to fix a dart so that it's all one line. But that is now a 3-point line. Okay, so we're going to make multiple copies of this. So I'm going to leave, I've got the original up here, and when I'm through changing this one, I'm going to go to File, Save As, and turn this into a new piece name. So this one's your basic. You want to leave it alone and not mess it up. Okay, so I'm going to cancel this one to get out of that, otherwise it gets confused. And Advanced is where we find darts. Advanced tab at the top, darts at the bottom, and then manipulate. So we're going to start by choose the dart to rotate. Select the rotation point location, that's the bus point, choose it carefully. Select the hold line, that's almost always the center, front, or back. Select the opening point, and I'm just reading to you what it says in the display screen. So when you're working on your own, don't forget to read the display screen. Select the opening point, and this happens to have an intermediate point in the center. And choose the internal lines to move. There are no internal lines, so I have to say OK or it won't move on. Where it says end selection to continue right here, that's computer speak for OK. It doesn't know you're through doing what it asked until you say OK. And then select a new position for the dart tip, and I'm going to eyeball that the same distance away as the other one, or similar. So this is finished. I mean, the assignment part is finished. It split it, and it has the upward triangle, which is the end point of a line, but it also has a downward triangle, which means a grade rule. So before I plot it, I may need to fix that. So I'm going to say, oh no, before I save it, I'm going to put my name on it. So we're going to create, go up to the Create tab, and Annotation. And I touch the Annotation button, and it says select the location for the annotation. So I'm going to put it down here. And I'm going to type in my name, and then space and front bodice. And the assignment is shoulder dart, so I'm going to put in shoulder dart. And if you're going to label it well, you'll need to put cut one on fold, because this one is on the fold. If yours isn't, you could choose what to put, but we're just going to do cut one on fold. And it's a size 8. All right, the character size, if you don't change it to a half to a quarter of an inch, I'm going to put in 0.25, which is a fourth of an inch, then sometimes it defaults to very, very, very large, and that's just annoying for you. So I put on 0.25, and now I'm going to say OK. Well, I don't like where that ended up, but I have my annotation there. So I'm going to cancel out of that, and first I'm going to show you how to, well, you can rewind. So if I want to move this annotation, then I need to edit it. So I would go up to Edit, Annotation, select the annotation, and it's highlighted in red, and selection to continue, say OK, and I can change what it says in this box, or I can copy it and paste it into others, or delete it, or move it, or rotate it. So, or I can change the size. So I'm going to move it, and now I'm holding on to it, and I can put it where I want it. And while we're here, I will show you how to do some other things, but I'll ultimately put it back to here. If I want to rotate it, because it's a weird little piece and it'll only fit one way, I can rotate it, and then I just touch, and then it's been rotated. Now it's just crooked enough to be annoying. I can delete it or copy it, and if I copy it, then I can copy that and put it on a different piece, and then only have to change certain things about it, and it takes less time. So I'm going to cancel that. Well, I'm going to change the size of the font first. 0.5, apply, so you can see how big that gets. It gets bigger than that on the plotter if there's some kind of a format issue. So now I'm going to delete it and cancel. Oh, except I canceled, and now it's straight again, but it's in the wrong place. So I'll choose it again. I have to say OK because it says End Selection to continue, and then I'm going to move it and say OK. So I'm through with the annotation. So changing it is in Edit, creating it is in Create, and it has its own box. All right. I think that's all we're going to do with these. Eventually we'll be adding seam allowance and doing other things, but you've got a lot to learn at the beginning. So I'm now going to save as, choose the piece to save as, and I'm going to leave my name on it, but I'm going to put just front shoulder dart and maybe number 1 so we know that it's the first one. And now when I cancel, if you come back over here, you're still in select piece to save as, so cancel, then right click on the piece and you can say piece to menu. And you've got your original and you've got your changed one. So you can practice rotating the darts all the way around. If I want to take this off of being on the fold so you can put one in the front, you certainly can. So I would go to modify piece and I'm going to choose fold keep and select the fold line. Oh, really? That's very strange. Instead, I guess we're going to say open. Select the piece to open. Oh, okay. Well, that works too. Okay, so now it's a solid line, so you could just rotate the dart over to here. It also might be a good idea, I mean, it's good review this time because we have to convert those two. I'm going to try rotating this dart so you see what happens. So in advanced, manipulate dart, rotate dart. If I try to rotate this dart, it'll give me an error message that says the dart must be a 3-point line, and it tells you to merge the dart legs. So I'm going to go into modify line, combine, clockwise and in order. Okay. So now it's a dart, and now you can rotate that. So I'm going to end there. But before I do, I'm going to save this piece the way it is so I don't have to keep fixing that, and say OK. So it should have saved it to your path that you just chose for it. So we're going to do more of those this week. That's just the first one.